Good evening, everyone. William Meehan here. Glad you could drop by. I have been working on something here, which is all based on this assault weapon stuff. But what they're really doing here is they're not telling you the real story here. You hear a lot of this about Columbine, Sandy Hook, yes, the shooting in Texas, which was horrible, and I agree. But they're not really telling you the full story about the assault weapon ban. And we're going to get into that. If you like this, share it, subscribe. I please wish you would do. I'm going to try to do a lot to build this if I can. Lay your comments down. Please keep me clean. I like to keep a clean platform, even though for me it's times hard. But I try. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to slap this down a little bit on it. Again, we all heard about the assault weapon ban, right? Assault weapon did this, that, and the other. Now, I do not own an AR. Now, I have fired M16s when I was in the service, and I have fired some ARs out here in the civilian world. Nothing wrong with them. It's a fine little toy. I prefer my M14, or actually M14A1, whatever the civilian version, but it's still an M14. Mine is, because it's been reworked. Now, as we go through this, what they're not telling you to do is they're not really telling you the truth about this assault weapon ban nonsense. And I'm going to explain something here with this. First of all, there was no ARs used in a Columbine shooting. Now, Mr. Brady, the secretary, press secretary, was not shot with an AR. He was shot with a .32 caliber revolver. No AR there, right? Okay, now, so long before the AR platform came on to the civilian world here, they were after semi-automatic handguns and revolvers and long rifles. They were after those rifles and handguns and semi-automatic firearms. Now, there was no ARs at that time until 1989. I'm going to read my notes here, so bear with me. 1989 production of the first AR-15 for civilians. With the AR-15 patent long expired, Jim Glazer and Carl Lewis started manufacturing the civilian versions of the AR-15. Okay. This opened AR-15s up to the civilian market from the years 1989 to 1994. Now, from 89 to 94, were there any shootings? Yes. But they were shot with other firearms, like shotguns, handguns, using weapons of choice of drug dealers sometimes, right? Okay. Now, this is the best part. When this Brady bill was put into place in 1994, versions of the AR-15 were classified as Safety Recreational Firearms Use Protection Act of 1994 within the United States. So they created this goofy law or organization, I guess, I'm not sure, I'm not really getting involved in this, to placate this platform of the assault weapon ban. It made no sense, because from the time they banned it to the time it was lifted, which is 8 years, I think it was 8 years. No, sorry, somewhere between 5 and 6 years. Forgive me. The same amount of shootings that still occurred. It didn't change anything. So they banned this firearm for nothing. Now, they did complain about Columbine, which led to pushing this assault weapon ban. So they complained, these children were killed, assault weapons, the whole 9 yards. But they never told the real truth about this. Now, more news. And I've been doing a lot of research and stuff the best I can. Here's the interesting thing about this particular one. And what I found interesting with this was that this was covered by the certain news organizations as well. This is called Weapons of Columbine, by the way. You can research this if you want. You can get a copy if you like. And the interesting thing about this, it was covered by BBC News, the Columbine Report, CNN covers the Columbine Report, and the Rocky Mountain News. And yes, and NBC and other news medias also, which also covered it. Now, let's get down to the firearms. This is the best part about this. It's a shame these people lost their lives. Yes, it is. But they didn't lose it. Not the way you say. But they did lose their lives. It's a shame. Eric Harris weapons were High Point Model 995 carbine rifle. High Point Model 995 carbine rifle. Okay. He also has sawed-off pump action shotgun Springfield Model 67H. Shotgun 67H. It's a pump, right? Now, I do believe his partner here, Klebold, I think that's how his name is spelled, Klebold, Klebold. He had a TAC-9 DC 9mm semi-automatic handgun, a double-barrel Savage 311 D sawed-off shotgun. Now, no AR-15 there. None. But this was based on Columbine, the assault weapon ban, the AR-15 platform. Okay. Now, they also had, I don't think they had them on their possession, but apparently they had something. They may have had it on their possession, I'm not sure. They had bombs and knives, explosives and knives. See, the tally was 48 carbon dioxide bombs, 27 pipe bombs, 11 1.5 gallon propane bombs, 7 gas napalm bombs, and 2 20-pound propane bombs. That's a pretty hefty piece of materials they were carrying, huh? And where they were carrying all that, I don't know. But the interesting point about this is that they had these weapons, but they weren't assault weapons. Brady was shot, not with an assault weapon, a revolver, a .32 caliber revolver. Let's fast forward this today. Yes, there are people being shot with this AR. Now, mind you, they put all kinds of red flags on. They put all kinds of restrictions on. Tons of restrictions. People are still getting killed. Now, is it the firearm or mental health issue? Or is it because it's everybody is guilty and we want to blame everybody? And that's basically what they're doing. Because they're trying to go back to where they were before, but banning all handguns and long type rifles. Before this AR-15 came out. Now, they talked about Columbine and they talked about Sandy Hook. What did these two have in common? Well, first of all, only one had an AR-15 platform and the others did not. But I did find out I'm not a doctor, so bear with me with this. Eric Harris was seeing a psychologist for a combined of depression, anger, suicidal thoughts, and was prescribed Zoloft and Luvox. These drugs are turning you to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde the next. You know, that's what they were doing. That's what he was prescribed with, along with being other problems he had while attending school. He was a loner. His partner was also a loner. So it was easy to suck him right into the little inner circle here of what Harris had. But they don't address that, did they? They focused on the firearms. And amazing. There's no ARs though. Now, when we dive into Adam here, got my notes here, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, and his mental health, that he was pretty bad off here, and he was prescribed Celexa. So Celexa, I think it's called Celexa. He was prescribed this. Now, mind you, his doctors were extremely worried about him because he was also anorexic, was a problem, a very sickly kid, and he had a lot of mental issues that needed to be really addressed. His parents did not want to hear this. So, what happened there? Right? Was it our fault? No. Was it the parents' fault? Yeah, you could blame that issue. Was it the firearm's fault? No. Mother liked to go shooting, she took it with him. And he had access to the firearms. Her mistake was she didn't follow up on his medications or the doctor's CDC or the mental hospital he needed to go to, which, from what I was able to read, he needed to do. Till then, you all take care of yourselves, keep your friends and family safe, free to defend yourselves. Do not surrender nothing. Don't surrender no firearm. Take care.